machine, the tech priest who is making sure
Ah,
all the
okay.
things
Apologies, I figured out the
properly.
echo.
Apparently,
I had a
Mike
duplicated
Audio is
microphone.
thinking, which would explain why Raph has donned his robes of office and is now scurrying around making sure that everything is working fine.
It's because in all of our mic tests, we were like, well, we were here till reasonably late last night, so we were keeping it reasonably mellow and chill.
All right, so my microphone should be working properly now. Sorry about that, everybody.
It is at least 75% more exciting when you're live.
A little bit. And you know, there's a lot of people who've been, playing the little quiz. We've got the quiz ready for the people, the early birds, maybe some of the late birds, depending on where you are in the world. Don't worry, Adam Troke will play the "Where Are You Watching Us From" game soon enough. We have some standards.
I can see some people jumping the gun. I see you pre-press DM. Well, I'll tell you what, while Raph continues to work his miracles, the unguents are coming out. We'll ask my favourite question, which is, this is a good time of day, 2 p.m. in the UK, but I don't know what time it is where you are. Where in the world are you tuning in from to join us?
That's what the people tune in.
Oh, hello, Luno.
Thanks also.
My word, it has exploded.
Star
This is the
Captain.
old world.
I know there's somebody else down there in the chat too.
Germany,
But I finally got it pulled
Romania,
up to where I could see my
Coventry
chat
behind
as
me.
well.
I'll double check, but I think that was Newcastle, Delaware. Oh, very exciting. Gibraltar. That might be the first time I've seen Gibraltar in the chat, actually. I quite like it when I see places that are new. Spacehawk LV426. Go careful. Oh, somebody says, oven prices. I love you, Adam, with little crying faces. That is kinder than you need to be. Don't cry. It's all good. Wow. I'm going to say the same thing I basically say every time, which is it just makes
It's
my
better?
heart
Okay,
sing.
but is there still an echo at all, or did I finally get
All
rid of
around
it?
the world enjoying the
That's
exact same
Star Captain. I just want to make sure of that.
I do. So thank you.
I don't want you all to
for
have
about an
to
hour
be
of your
miserable
time,
during a
with
rewatch
us
of this if that
as
ever
we
happens.
Go through what is going to be a pretty cool roundup of some skirmish things. Wade, what is a skirmish thing? We called it summer.
Yeah,
summer
I
skirmish.
did.
What does that mean?
Even
thing.
did,
That's worth clarifying.
so
If you've never
for maybe
seen
those who
it,
aren't aware, I
online
mostly
before, we're gonna
use
tell you about these
Instagram.
coming up.
So
Warhammer
I've done a
things,
quick
Warhammer adjacent
video,
related
both
sometimes
comical
dedicated
and a
to
serious
particular
one
games.
about
System
what I thought about the
very
guard
focused,
model
maybe one of
leads.
the last ones I had on
So I'm hoping that
Associated
with
with
this today, we get the full reveal of the Kasrkins, which I believe is the next kill
the
team.
Skirmish games is a great opportunity to talk about.
Could be
some of
wrong,
the other game
but I
systems
think
outside of
the
Warhammer
Kasrkins are the
40,000,
next big reveal.
Warhammer Age of Sigmar, the Horus Heresy, what we would consider maybe the mass battle games.
Oh God, coffee in the
form
morning
of
is so
armies
good.
battling over tabletops. These are other expressions of the Warhammer hobby of collecting, building, painting, playing games with Warhammer miniatures with smaller numbers of models. Usually a great way of getting into.
Okay,
that
we don't
Warhammer
need
hobby
to
of
hear
collecting,
Wade. I'm
building,
gonna actually turn down his volume real quick. We don't need to hear Wade Price talking about what a skirmish game is, but just to recap, the model reveals, right, that we saw. I noticed there were backpacks. I talked to a few others. We looked at the models. We think there may be shotguns on them. So given those couple little bits that we're seeing there, and the shotgun theory is because if you look at one of the blurry models on the left, the way the sling is hanging down off of it, GW typically does that on their shotgun models. So this may be a new veterans kit. Like we may get a dedicated veterans kit, which would be really cool. So we'll see what happens with it. I miss the Forge World backpacks, and that's been my #1 complaint since the reworking of Forge World and a discontinuation of those bits and upgrade packs. So we'll be getting our cool gear and upgrades back, which I think will be great. That I've always wanted to have 10 veterans jumping out of a Chimera with shotguns and blasting away some Black Legion. I think it sounds like a lot of fun. I'd also be excited if they brought back things like the melt-a-bomb options and so forth that we could put on sergeants or other models to be able to use. So, especially for special weapons teams. We got a special weapons team option back again. I think that'd be amazing. And then the vehicle we could see in the bottom right corner of that leaked Angron image. Too blurry to really tell what was going on, and I don't want to make a judgment about it yet. We could see a sponson, we could see a corner, but it was just too dark and too little of the model for us to really know what's up with that. But it's very cool. It's very exciting. Very exciting. You're correct. It is not a Lehman Russ or Baneblade variant. It's not even a Malkador variant. It looks like something totally new. Totally of its own. So we'll see. I don't think we'll. if I had to make a guess, I think the Guard previews will be done at the Nova Open here in the United States in September. Labor Day weekend kind of deal. That's what I'm predicting, is when we'll see all this Guard stuff start getting officially previewed by GW. I'm guessing MBT stands for Mobile Battle Tank. Mobile... Not an acronym I'm familiar with, but yes, I think so too. It'd be nice if it was a transport and tank. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to turn the desktop audio back up here.
Rad. Raph is going to give me the thumbs up that the tech gods have been
Oh, main battle tank.
The Omnissiah loves us.
Yes,
apparently
yes.
we've got a mixed relationship with the Omnissiah right now. We're going to go live with our first video in about 2 or 3 minutes. But before we jump in,
2 or 3
I'd like
minutes
to find out
for the
what
first
hobby
video.
people have been doing. Chat, let us know what hobby you have been doing. And Wade, what about you?
Like most normal people, I've spent most of the last 36 hours looking at pictures of Angron and shouting yes, yes. That's mostly been the focus. I had to tear myself away to go to
I am typing into the live stream, but it almost seems pointless because the text is moving so fast. I don't know if y'all could even see the type response I put in there.
Is this better after going something like this? Conversation like this? Yeah.
Yeah, and Wade's audio just like cut in half. Which I guess I can't say anything. Yeah, so if it's between a Baneblade and a Lehman Russ, right? That's like Malkador size. And I'd be totally okay with that. Or even if it was like Vicarious Vulcan sized, right? That kind of mid-sized tank, super. It's one thing I love about the Forge World range, and why I own nearly every tank that they make. I love being able to fit it on a standard size table and like move it down through the streets of the city ruins, and without making my opponent, you know, freak out at the size of the vehicle either, because Malkadors kind of are almost a normal size model now, with some of the new Space Marine vehicles and things like that that have come out.
Well, you see, loyalty.
Yep. Although, I mean, don't get me wrong, I obviously love my Baneblades. They all my Baneblade variants and those large tanks. I even have a secret tank project in the works that is bigger than a Baneblade. But that one's going to take a while, and I got a few things that I got to get done before then. I'm actually, but I'll get that out as soon as I can. So I got to like go buy a heat gun. I got to get new parts 3 printed.
If you know,
it's going to be a lot of work. But it's supposed to be a terrain piece or a narrative piece. Obviously not match play because it's not a real GW model.
It's great. Yeah, Alpha. So sorry again. Says Adam is First Legion, the Dark Angels, or Alpha Legion. I believe the Emperor was quite clear when he put
by the way,
in order.
What's your all's favorite tank variant?
Alpha Legion, 20th for a reason. Right.
I'm actually very curious. What's your all's favorite tank for the Astra Militarum?
Okay, so here we are. It is roughly 10 minutes past 2.
Yep.
We are very, very glad that
well, I asked that question.
You have chosen to come and spend an hour with us this week.
But here we go. They're actually going to do...
Skirmish things. Raph, why don't you play that first video?
Okay. Sigmar's Comet. Yeah, definitely Age of Sigmar. Which is cool. What? Oh. Oh, okay. Kind of, this new Warcry warbands. Let's listen to what they have to say.
War and glory in the heart of Gur. Wade, what is the heart of Gur?
The Heart of Gur is the new edition of Warcry, so skirmish combat in the realm of beasts. Anyone familiar with Warcry, which had been skirmish combat in the mortal realm, set up in the shadow of the Varanspire, in the Bloodwind Spoil, you'll notice that it has now moved setting to the Gnarlwood in Gur, the realm of beasts. So that introductory video gives you some clues as to the precise nature of the conflict and the participants and what is going down in Gur. Right at the very
Okay, so
beginning,
we got
saw the kind of cosmic
just,
perspective of seeing Gur from space. You get to see
pretty
Yeah,
cool, right?
It's
probably
very
most
cool.
of
And I
you,
think
or
one
if
of
you're
the
watching my
legends that
stream, may
spoke
not
of
be into
Gur is
Warcry.
that the landscape
I've
of the realm
been
of beasts
hobby
is
curious
practically
about it for a
everything in
while,
Gur
but
is hunter
haven't
and
taken the
killer.
dive yet.
Kill.
Although one of my close friends definitely wants to get me into it, but I do like that
Have taken a bite
faction
from
there on the
it.
right-hand side of the
One the
box.
moons, legends say, has been eaten.
Ah.
One of the moons has had a bite taken out of it. You will
I'd
have
be
it,
interested in
and you
that.
could see
So,
a chunk missing.
one of you said the Elysian speed car,
Something
so
came crashing down into
the
Gnarlwood, which
the
has been referenced and
six-wheeled
mentioned
buggy, I
in
think it
the
was,
stories.
that you
There's
could
a
get on
vast
the cargo-carrying
predatory
Valkyrie.
jungle on the
That-
ever-shifting borders of
what a
Themia
model
and
that
Terra,
was.
which is where a lot of the attention
Ooh,
from the
wow,
Europeans
that's a
has been
really
set.
nice set right
And
there,
it's
actually.
skirmish combat in a new environment.
Sorry, I
Warcry
got distracted.
Kroot and Gur,
New shiny models.
great new
Everything
box
looks
set
pretty.
taking the
I actually
Warcry
just finished my
experience
last Warcry
into
terrain
this
set. I just put
particular
it away in the
generation
cabinet back
from
here.
a matter of expected
No, I don't play
from
Warcry
the
yet, but I
box.
bought the terrain because I love terrain
Box,
and painted it up.
What you can see here is the contents of the heart of Gur.
Yeah, this is pretty cool looking.
Everything you need to
But
play.
okay, so back to your guys' tank questions, and I'll stop trying to get distracted by the shiny new models. Definitely Lehman Russ Battle Cannon, always classic. For me, it's probably got to be the Macarius series tanks, particularly the Vulcan, right? A Vulcan Mega Bolter. One of Macarius is just one of the scariest things to come up against in the Astral Terram, right? Talk about it goes Bert, like, I think, and you used to be able to really shred anything.
Look at the state of these. So this is one of the
Oh.
bands in the box. These are some of the natives to the Gnarlwood, the Rotmire Creed, worshippers of the Great Leech.
Yeah.
Oh.
They are some messed up dudes, I think it's fair to say. As you say, they worship the Leech, the Lord Leech he is called, and their whole
They
goal
worship the
is
Lord Leech. I'll tell you what, I gotta like the dude with the frog on his shoulder. That's pretty rad.
And you can see that some of them have definitely found some pestilences, the sort of separating.
And I was really, really interested in this actually Warcry warband until I found out it was Nurgle. I don't know if you all know, but I have a grudge against Nurgle.
Yeah, I think so.
So-
Because we're talking this morning when I was moving some stuff around.
Ah.
A centipede was dislodged. And that
My
was
battle
just
reports,
including
I
nothing.
used to play Death Guard just
Dark
all the
place.
time.
The
And at my
centipede
local
was
hobby shop, I had a really great wonderful friend who played
Gnarlwood
Death Guard.
itself were probably the size of my dog, and you wouldn't necessarily want to get bitten on the feet by them. But they had the absolute.
Time for a top off here.
Those going barefooted in and around the woods without any sort of.
Also,
stuff.
if my studio's a mess right now, it's because I'm in the middle of trying out a new furniture arrangement, and I got books on the floor, and I'm painting terrain and stuff right now, so it's just kind of a disaster.
There's so much going on with these.
Don't worry, on the replay of this, I'm going to put chapters in so folks can just skip ahead to my reaction to specific things. Oh, those are really cool looking.
A whole heap of models, 10 models in fact with this one.
Huh.
But the things I like are their goal is to find this perfect pestilence.
I wonder if I'd be interested in painting these up if
Expanse into a
I'd change the theme on this a little bit.
So they've got sort of the trappings.
What if they were like
you expect. Look at these weird sort of mouldering moss and whatever it is on the shoulders of the one.
Coastal like, right? What if I turned them into like a sea base group?
Savage aspect to them, loads of bones and.
You can use them in my D&D games. Might be cool.
And moldy looking wood. These are some creepy looking dudes.
Fresh
In the
coffee.
middle, his feet are
Nothing
literally
better.
spilling out through his boots.
Maggots are the right.
Other than a fully painted Cadian army.
And it's another expression of what we saw in the very original launch of Warcry, that kind of worshippers, human worshippers of chaos at the ground level in the mortal realms, but who don't necessarily know the Chaos Gods by the same names we, who are educated and own books, know them by. They don't necessarily know the names of the great Chaos Gods of the Pantheon. They're just trying to get by.
See,
They're
it just
normal men, innocent men, just trying to get by in a world that's been ravaged by the Chaos Gods. They've survived the Age of Chaos through whatever means, and this is just normal to them. This is just life, surviving the Gnarlwood. So people were asking in the chat, I saw, are they Nurgle aligned? We would probably see some fairly Nurgle-esque qualities to them, but they don't necessarily know that name because they're worshipping.
Can we jump back to the previous slide just for a second, Raph? So the one in the centre is the Witherlord, which is the leader of the warband, and I think the thing that's key to point out there is that he may be sort of the one in charge. He's got this unique syringe weapon and a collection of like all pots and vials and things, and he's even got like a weird drooling, poisonous-looking frog sat on his shoulder,
which is pretty cool.
The heavy, pardon the expression. If we go back to the second thing now, in the middle you have the bloated one, and he has a lot in common with the things you'd expect to see maybe from the Maggotkin.
Yep.
So the sort of bloated skin, and also I don't know the answer to this, whether or not the claws are almost crab-like.
Yeah, fully.
Onto his arms.
Luno just said in the chat about just starting collecting armor. So congratulations on the start of your Astromoltarum journey. I've been doing this since just did a Frontline Gaming article in which I talked about my background. I should probably actually link that to you all at some point. But it's out there. I got interviewed about running Crusade events because I do that here at my local shop. And yeah, so I've been doing this since about, I think, 2014 or so. And so I'm up to like I've painted a ridiculous amount of Cadians. So, which is why you all see my other armies so rarely, because I'm just mostly busy painting Cadians. But it does feel good when you get up there and you show up to a table with your opponent and your army's fully painted, right? And they're fully painted and you're standing across from each other. It's a really good feeling. It's great. Or even just to look at your own collection. You know, I got, I wonder if I can actually rotate my camera here. But, nope. I got it locked into place. So, anyways, right beside me here is my painting cabinet. And it's really great to, like, put your models out on display and go, yeah, I did that. It's feels good. But 445 points where you're at right now, Luno, is really great. Because that means you can go and do combat patrol games, right? And you got that good solid force. I love doing combat patrol size games. Especially with Guard right now. I don't know what's in your list. But if you get things like Chimeras, you do really well in combat patrol size games. It's very effective, especially, and that was before Armor of Contempt. So now with the new buffs to Guard vehicles, it's probably even better. Very resilient. You can drive around, keep your troops alive, and put a hurting on your opponent at the same time. I can usually squeeze about 3 Chimeras into a combat patrol list with Bullgrins and an infantry squad and special weapons team with Plasma, Melta, and so forth. And it's pretty deadly. Really effective. Oh, hey, you don't need to apologize. Trust me, my French is horrible. And my Thai is even worse, and my German is read-only. So you don't have to apologize for language. Okay, so you get 2 infantry squads, 2 special weapons, and a tank commander. Ooh, that is a nice list. Yeah, that would also do real well, and it'd be a lot of fun in combat patrol. That's a good selection of a starter army.
My eyes are up here, above my actual eyes. Look up there. Yeah, they're definitely going in for the shock and awe. The name
Yeah, so these are kind of cool. I'm getting. Let's talk about the Warcry models real quick. We're looking at. I'm getting kind of an Oriental, like an Asian, historical kind of vibe to them with the way their armor is done. And oh wow, that terrain's really cool. That's really nice. Once again, so to kind of reinforce that kind of like Asian vibe that's going on in this box, right? We got these bamboo like things growing up out of here in the bamboo-like platforms. Yeah, we can see they're being very intentional about that here. Yeah, it looks cool. I really love the giant skull growing up through the tree. Just reminds me of something you don't always see in like World of Warcraft, which I really did enjoy back in the day. So that's cool to kind of see great fantasy terrain in that way.
I spent a little while trying to look. I'm sure at some point I'll be able to find out.
Yeah, Luno says he wants to get a Chimera, and that'll give him up to 500 points. I think that'd be a great addition to your kill team, and it's a great kit as well. So I think if I'm being honest, the Alaskan array on the sides a little weird to try to paint and look good because it has like a ball and socket it goes into, and anytime you do that on a model, paint chips really easily if you're not careful about how you assemble it and paint it. Or then how do you transition your colors right there? Do you just try to blend it in, or you try to make it its own thing? And it can be kind of a tricky thing to hobby, but it's a fantastic model. I really like it. Oh, so I didn't catch that there, so I'm going to turn up their volume just for a second. But they were saying those ruins right there on the right, that's a reference to Seraphon.
The horns of Hashut want to burn it down. Why would anyone else want to go into this wood that wants to eat you? It's not just the Gnarlwood itself. There are treasures to be found. Wonderful treasures from a crashed Seraphon voyage.
Although I got to say, I like everything about this Warcry box so far, but I don't know if I'm a fan of the trees.
There's wonderful treasures.
Just maybe it's the photographs, but not a fan of the trees. Everything else about it, the platforms, the skulls, the ruins, the ladders, and the bridges, love it. Love it.
So a few questions in the chat that I might be able to answer. The first was, it's not a gas sort of projector, the weapon.
Oh, and I just didn't realize just now I could actually hover my mouse over this, and you all could see. So yeah, I don't like this texture.
The rules have been updated. You can see these are the rules manuals.
Oh, look at that.
That come in the box. Here you've got a warband tome, and then you've got the core book. They're updated. There'll be some changes. Mostly this is around enabling you to play in the new setting. So if you are an existing Warcry player, you are not relearning the wheel, if that's an expression. I'm not sure it is.
It is now.
And yeah, this will be very familiar. Will the terrain be available separately? I really don't know. Maybe sometime, but obviously the first place you'll be able to get it is inside this box. So if it takes your fancy, then that is the way to strike. I'm aware that we have talked about these for a goodly 15 minutes and we're not even done, but Raf's not waving at me. This is fine. Core. So this is an example of how awesome your battlefield could look.
Very cinematic, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think this.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
Shot sort of conveys that sort of very close and frightening feel that you were talking about, where everything is dangerous. And I think those are the sorts of mechanics that we can see playing out in the game, isn't it? The idea that you're never quite safe.
Not at all, no. I think
I'm really digging this Warcry set. That's pretty cool.
Spoil or maybe made use of some of the White Dwarf content when we saw the fall of Anvilgard, when Morathi was trying to annex that and turn it into Harkiron. We've already seen Warcry developed and becoming the dedicated skirmish engine for games in the Mortal Realms, and this is a great expansion of that, furthering that, taking the Warcry experience into literally the heart of Gur. It's written on the box. If you want to keep playing games elsewhere in the Mortal Realms, you surely can do, but this is going to be a great opportunity for everyone who wants to go and explore a new part of the Mortal Realms during the era of the Beast still, while the rest of Warhammer Age of Sigmar is still looking at events taking place in the era of the Beast.
Okay, Luno asked if I thought they would bring back Elysians. No, I don't think they're. I think it's very unlikely. GW tried to push multiple Astral Terran regiments in the past, and I think they figured out they just couldn't sell that many regiments. And like there was a short. Oh, okay, Necromunda. Hold on, I'll finish that thought in a moment. Okay, that's cool looking. That's a nice model. But that's it. Just one vehicle model preview for the Goliaths.
House of Games. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Goliath is my house. I know
That's cool looking though. Definitely could be converted into a lot of cool 40k stuff too. But anyhow, back to the Elysian discussion. With the Elysians, they were such a cool regiment, but with the neglect of flyers and GW recognizing they probably can really only market so many regiments at once, because you got to think about how many kits there's going to be for Cadians, right, here in the very near future, and the fact that they would nearly need to duplicate that for the other regiments as well to really make them viable. I mean, when they were selling Elysians, we looked at the number of kits they had, and then the other legions they used to sell were mostly undersupported. I feel, right? You couldn't get every heavy weapon, you couldn't get every special weapon, and so yeah, I don't know. It was a great time in the hobby, but I don't think they're going to go back to that. And so with that, I think they're just going to have Cadians, Catachans, and Krieg for now. But I could be wrong. And you know what? I would love to be proven wrong about this. So GW, please prove me wrong, because I think the more regiments, the better. So even if we got an official Salvar Kimdog kit or new Elysians, I think it'd be great. What I'm hoping they do is release custom regiment rules that would support you making your own Elysian regiment, right? So things that would relate to aircraft and stuff, you know, that kind of quick drop in, air trooper kind of deal. I think would be really wonderful if they did that for regular guard. Or, hey, maybe we get an upgrade sprue and they make like a jetpack, right? The drop pack kind of set that goes on the Cadian torso, and then maybe we get, I don't know, different head swaps and stuff for it. So like maybe an upgrade sprue, that would be an easy way, I think, to solve that problem. With the little nub on the Cadian backpack, it really lends itself to be a versatile kit that they could really take advantage of. We'll see though.
The previous one, the major difference beyond
yeah, it's hard to find those old Elysian kits now that aren't Russian or Chinese recast. There's not a whole lot of them. In fact, I was just on eBay this morning searching Imperial Guard National Militarum sales, and
yeah, I think just
it's been slim picking, at least for U.S. sales on eBay for Guard for several years now, and I haven't seen stuff like that on there for a while. So they're getting harder to come by, unfortunately.
to say, super dope. It's going to be as pugnacious and dangerous as you could.
I did just when I was at Adepticon in March of this year in the United States, someone had painted up an Elysian diorama, and it was absolutely gorgeous, just amazing. The scenario was one of their buggies was being dropped off by that custom Valkyrie. That Forge World still sells, surprisingly, by the way. Forge World still sells the cargo Valkyrie. I don't know why the name's skipping my mind at the moment. It was being dropped off, and at the same time, a Tyranid was like coming out of the ground and ripping at it, like both the plane and trying to get to the buggy. And the Elysians were reacting on this landing pad to try to secure it. Very cool. Those models were just so gorgeous.
Great houses to think, what might my house have there? What would be the perfect Delac, Escher, corridor, junk, wagon?
Oh, the Sky Talon. Thank you. Good God, I can't believe I forgot that. I guess because, like, right, it doesn't fit the naming conventions of typical GW models. So, you know, it doesn't have a mythical creature attached to it. It's not the Manticore, the Wyvern, the Valkyrie, or anything like that. Yeah, it's got its own thing. So, the Sky Talon, yes. I need to buy one of those. I don't know what I'm going to do with it when I buy it. But I should buy one.
Definitely not one of those subtle investigation inquisitors.
Anybody got one for sale?
My wheelhouse, which whilst you know your taste in bikes may be questionable, your taste in puns is amazing. Somebody said this looks environmentally friendly and fuel efficient, and I quite agree. Like the fuel prices on Necromunda are obviously more stable than the rest of the world right now.
Yes, and we were talking when we were taking
Oh,
a
that's
look
a
at
funny
stuff
joke.
before we went live. We're talking about tanks in the real world have to consider the damage that they might do, the environmental damage they might do to the real world. In Necromunda, environmental damage you.
It's already been done.
Yeah, the inverse is true. So I don't think that the environment has anything to worry about from the effect of either the tracks or the wheel or the big buzzsaw blades that you could have in place of the big fat wheel at the front.
Fair.
And the reason that the biggest boss 2008, why we are so slow at revealing stuff, is because we really enjoy looking at corny things and talking about
Yeah,
it.
pretty much.
And we're going to be continuing to do
Yeah,
this
it's probably
for
not
the next
making-
28 minutes or so. Speaking of which, let's see the next thing.
Oh, here we go. Ooh. Oh, that's really cool.
There we have Hexbane Hunters, the newest warband to enter the Underworlds.
Okay, I did play Underworld
So this is Witch
when it
Hunters,
first
the
released,
Order
and
of
I
the
really enjoyed it.
Sigmar's obviously been doing lots of groups of Stormcast
This looks
panels.
awesome,
Enter
and
the
some
various
amazing
Underworlds,
kit bash
keep an eye
opportunity
on,
for 40k. Look at those models.
kicking off in Shadespire and then into the Beastgrave. There's also been groups of the the brutal mailed fist of Sigmar's intent, but the Hexbane's Hunters, the Order of Azir Witch Hunters, something that we've seen some expressions of, the idea of more recently as miniatures with the Galen and Dorelia Vendents in the Broken
because
Realm
they
saga.
hang out with them just
I
great.
think so, yeah, and they harken back to some classic Warhammer World That Was archetype.
Yeah,
which
that
is
is-
appropriate because that's when Sigmar.
that
was
is
from.
such
I
a
think
cool
Sigmar
model
probably
set.
carry some of those memories around, but those classic big hat witch hunter archetypes we've seen from the World That Was. I think even this is something like reminiscent of the old Mordheim witch hunter warband in that it's got those brutal mastiff-like pit dogs.
Okay, come on. Work with me here. So you'll use the dogs, right? Like on a command squad, commander base kit. I think would look really cool. And then that model on the left, look at the torso. Tell me that doesn't look like either an Imperial Navy or an Imperial Commander torso, right? With the button-up jacket. You could totally kit bash that into something really great for the Guard. I think I might actually have to get this kit. And maybe a couple of it. I did really like Underworlds. I wouldn't mind playing again. So this is a great little release. When I played the old Warhammer RPG, I don't remember which edition, second, third, something like that. I don't know. I tried to work to playing an Inquisitor. God, that game was so much fun, and I've been inspired ever since. Every time I see Inquisitor models for Age of Sigmar or Warhammer Fantasy. So this is a really great credit. I'm actually really excited about this one.
And as you say, their special weapon appears to be two very, very angry, mastiff-looking dogs. I love them. I think, as the chat has already picked up, the possibility for sort of conversion across. First of all, if you're doing Cities of Sigmar type stuff, that'd be fantastic. If you need some friends to hang out with the Vendents, as soon as the War Scrolls for using these in Age of Sigmar come out, well, that's going to be fantastic. But also, if you want to, have a Inquisition warband for Warhammer 40,000, I think that the possibilities are endless.
Yep.
Let's not forget, however, you could also use them in Warhammer Underworlds, where, as you've rightly described, they are a fairly fragile aggro warband, which, if you are a Warhammer Underworlds aficionado, will mean more to you than me, who is just I would describe myself as a novice level person. Quite like just trying to use the biggest sword to hit the other person.
Since when have I been interested in Warhammer?
Yes.
Overall,
what
just
I can
like
do though is Raph moves the picture so we can look at the cards.
as a game system and as a setting since about 2014. Before then, I really didn't know much about it, so I am newer to the hobby, really. So I've not been around for 30, 40 years in this, but nearly a decade now. And then same with Warhammer Fantasy. Like, it was at the same time. I was actually trying to convince my friends to buy in the Warhammer Fantasy and play that. rather than Warhammer 40k. And we were all living together at the time and in college. And I lost out
Not to be encouraged.
on being persuasive, and my friends chose Warhammer 40,000. And then, lo and behold, to this day, kind of a funny part of that story. Now here I am, right, on YouTube, Instagram, doing all this content creation stuff and so forth for Warhammer 40,000, and I still don't play fantasy. And my friends aren't doing much in the way of Warhammer-related games anymore. I've made new friends in the hobby that play, right? But that original group, my Garage Hammer group, not even hardly into it anymore. It's just me now. Which is why I play Guard. They had to they were like, oh, look at this superhuman Space Marines. And I'm like, man, look at Tau. Look at Tyranids, okay. And they kept showing all these factions. I really wasn't interested in anything. And then the one friend really trying to convince me into it, my friend Daniel, finally showed me the Astromol Terran. He's like, well, there's these guys. They're like the regular military, but they're in 40k. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm really down for that. And then I got into the game. I didn't care about any of the actual, sci-fi stuff. I just wanted the regular army dudes.
They're actually quite a pox dog. He's probably moving. And you can just imagine everything in the warband loves them more than everything else in the whole warband, including each other.
I reckon I know how Grotbiter got its name.
Yeah, but
plenty of grots out there in the world. But
I think I might have to get those Hexbane Hunters. That's really cool.
Ratspike is a reference. If you know, you know. That's strong.
Absolutely, it's a classic.
Yeah, Team Yankee games are really great. I don't play any of them yet. Can't say that I would never, but they're really great games. I got a lot of friends that collect them and enjoy it. I love seeing them when I go to a Defticon and stuff and look at those models.
Fiddling with them.
They're fun. They're very nice.
The bases are mega. Why do all the Underworlds bases have?
Why were they?
I've picked up several Underworlds warbands simply for the scenic bases for conversions and use in other kits altogether. But sometimes
they're looking at a spur right now.
How do you paint models to look like it's raining? Which is a particularly deep way to think about painting models. But now there are going to be some bases with ripples and puddles of water on them. But it shows the.
I've never seen them do that before in a live stream.
The nether maze, I guess, deep beneath the Umbral Sea. There's some horrible, wet, dank places that these.
Also, haven't been watching your live streams.
Questers are going to go on behalf of Sigmar's.
It's not guard releases.
Order of Azir. Don't shy away from any sorts of places. Places where soul-white vampires might be sleeping. Places deep beneath.
Just saying.
Deep in the nether maze, where it's dripping with all sorts of weird, fell, grim water. But yeah, lovely way to push some of those designs and the aesthetic. So
apparently, I've been warned these miniatures actually belong to Lizzie, who was doing painting guides for them.
Painting videos to follow.
One, watch out for some quality painting guides from Lizzie, and two, I may not steal them, which is deeply, deeply sad. Well, maybe I can at least look after the cards.
Yeah.
Right. So far, what have we had? We've had the Warcry reveal showing the Heart of Gur.
I hope this is the Cadian reveal finally.
Which was really cool.
Big fan.
We've seen the Hexbane's Hunters. Maybe time for a bit of Blood Bowl.
Not yet. What was also cool, but it's not Kasrkin. Oh. Oh, that's pretty cool. Bring the Amazons in. Yeah, 2 out of 4 so far. Jungle themed, right?
I was just trying to remember the name of the kit that I thought the heads would be really good. And then we came back to you. Hello, that was exciting. A new team for Blood Bowl. The Kara Temple Harpies. Amazons tanking to the gridiron.
Yeah, I think people have been expecting these when we saw the Norse as one of the most recent Blood Bowl teams coming out. People have been checking off their lists of classic Blood Bowl teams from previous editions.
Very cool.
We are very much in the Blood Bowl second season edition.
Not much of a Blood Bowl fan, though. Friends have been trying to get me into that one, too, but I think I'd go back to Necromunda or Underworlds and play those kind of skirmish games before I got into Blitz Bowl or Blood Bowl at this point in time.
They all had dodge, they all had armor 7. That was the trade-off.
But really cool. Those are really cool models. Okay, any other things in the chat that I have missed? No, doesn't look like it. Okay.
They aren't just throwers, etc.
I'm glad you all are here today and are being patient while we wait for the Cadian. What I believe is today going to be the Cadian preview. If not, then I will edit the video title when this is over to make sure that nobody is misled. Waiting for my reaction for the new Kasrkins. While we all sit here and hang out together. It's my... Okay. Just checking my... To see the chat, I got my phone pulled up so I can see the YouTube chat. Yeah, definitely be guard versus Nids. We'll have Gene Stealers up against the Kasrkins.
And she does look ready to give you an absolute working over.
Yep, a good blitzing.
And then we have the Jaguar Warrior, which is the blockers.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
Okay.
heavier armor and things.
She's also got excellent hair.
Yes, not bad.
Oh, jeez.
And then the Eagle Warriors, which are the line woman of the team, as it were.
Yep.
The thing that really stands out to me about this team more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, these are really cool. I really like the color palette they've got going on. I mean, I guess I might as well talk about it, right? It's up on the screen. So that's really cool.
Studio who has just worked a blinder on these models. They look incredible.
We shout you. Yeah, they're absolutely...
In fact, oh my gosh, look at that faint blue line. Doing that, like adding detail that may not be physically present on a model, I always really do enjoy doing that in my hobby. Actually, I don't know if you all noticed, when I paint my Cadians, for their tan fatigues, I often add lines that aren't actually on the model in order to help create more texture to the fabric. Just like 1-2 little things. A little line over the knee or a little extra line on the back of the leg or something. So it's a really great way to break up fabric and other kind of just continuous color areas. So I do like, hobby-wise, what they've done with the models here for the Amazons. Probably not buying into Blood Bowl yet, though. But if I did, I'd buy halflings. I'd buy hobbits. This, oh my god, I love it so much. Like wearing the pots for helmets and stuff, and eating and just being totally silly. I love it. I absolutely love it.
They are very difficult to knock down on the ground.
So speaking as a fairly experienced...
Alright, I'll turn up the volume so we can actually hear them, because I got nothing interesting to say
It is
about
very,
Blood Bowl.
very useful. Of course, mine are only like move 5 little
Sorry.
guys as I play halflings, and you're going to get beaten up eventually. It's just whether or not you get to dodge first. I think the Amazons offer the other end of that spectrum because they've got the movement to back it up. They're going to be able to do throwing.
Yes. So Lunas in chat's talking about
in the form of those piranha
the
warriors
way
and
to
that's
shade and highlight the
Jaguar warriors.
tan fatigues, and that's the same way I do, is the Agrax into the recesses and stuff, and then highlight it up with Ushabti bone. I even like do a final highlight of Screaming Skull on the very fine edges, the raised areas and stuff, just to create that extra little bit of contrast across that tan color. And it's this way, it looks like they've been in the dirt, they've been on the battlefield, at least for a little bit, right? It's great. I wish I did, shout out to Cadian Shock. We are not the same person. One day, him and I need to do a live stream to maybe prove that, but he actually does a lot of more weathering pigments and other types of weathering effects than what I do. And I think he adds that kind of like mud at the bottom of the trouser kind of deal to a lot of his models as of late. So he does even more to make them look like they've been on the battlefield, and it looks fantastic. Like if you guys haven't seen Cadian Shock's work, go to Instagram, go to CadianShockblog.com, and check out his stuff. It's fantastic. So he was one of the people that inspired me early on social media.
Sorely tempted. I've got to be honest, it's been a while since I did any Blood Bowl.
Use too much mud on your Lehman Russ?
Got to imagine they're not horrible.
I don't know. I used to
we're running ahead
I used to cake mine in mud. So oh, here we go.
Why don't
Next
we,
thing.
Turn the lights down and go into the dark.
Here we go, boys, ladies. What? Just not what I was expecting. What is this? Okay. I was wrong, but I want to listen.
Kroot.
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 Kroot?
Kroot.
Kroot.
Kroot. That's probably enough.
Look at him there.
Ralph moves the picture. He can take no more. There we are. We were betting on the chat going absolutely wild at a particular point in that video, and there we have it. So, Warhammer 40,000 kill team Into the Dark. You were all wrong. It is the Imperial Navy Voidsmen versus the Kroot Farstalkers.
Yep.
In space. How much better than anything is that? Lots better. Let's go. Tell me all about it.
Oh, I
In
want
a
this.
space Hulk. Everything's in space, but not everything's in a space Hulk. So there've been a few notions thrown around the internetosphere over the last week or so, especially as we were building up to this summer skirmish preview with some kind of Space Hulk adjacent imagery and iconography.
Wow.
People confidently saying they knew it was a return to the classic Space Hulk. Or maybe it was definitely, probably, possibly Cadian Kasrkin fighting against something. No, an Imperial Navy breaching team. Sometimes a Space Hulk drops out of the warp, and we'll talk about Space Hulks in a moment, and the Imperial Navy, being the people who are mostly in space floating around in
These models look amazing, though.
They might put out a request to the Blood Angels to say, do you have one of those Terminator squads that, you know, formed some wonderfully iconic images of our childhoods, boarding Space Hulks to clear out Gene Stealers? And Dante says, we've got a few Tyranid-related problems of our own right now. Can you deal with it yourselves? And the Navy says, actually, yes, we can. We've got breaching teams to go onto Space Hulks and clear out any of the nasty, gribbly things that might exist. Exactly, they just can breach that Hulk. And here we can see a few of those representatives.
Wow.
So the iconography on the chest plate you can see is the symbol of the Imperial Navy. We saw the Voidsmen at Arms, who were maybe a similar sort of take on this.
I do have those Voidsmen at Arms. I got them fully painted.
Like S and M, like Marines in space, but not the Adeptus Astartes. Warriors of the Navy that would go and fight on spaceships that were humans, not augmented, not super soldiers, not genetically augmented killing machines, just straightforward humans that might have to go and clear horrifying nightmare ships from hell of the most terrifying things that could possibly exist in the galaxy of the far future, and these are they. So
I'm going to cover off some questions that were really burst into the chat. The first one, I spent quite a long time, I'm a little bit weapon obsessed, trying to work out if that was a triple-barreled shotgun. I see you, Igna, and I agree it was my first question. I think the bottom thing is either the protuberance that is the end of a magazine, you know how shotgun often they have like a long stack magazine, or it's a torch, or it's a laser, because that is a double-barreled shotgun. On the poking through the breaching shield.
Yeah, and similar, the one on the left, you can see there's a shell being ejected from the single ejection port, and it has the same sort of
these are freaking
protuberance
awesome.
Underneath its barrel.
I'm
the one
buying
on the right
these.
has 2 ejection ports, 2 barrels, and a similar protuberance. Let's say protuberance a bit more.
An amazing surprise. How this did not leak.
That was a top observation.
I do not
love
know.
it. Also, look how the slide on the shotgun slots into the sort of crenellation on that shield so that you can rack your shotgun while still holding the shield. Whoever designed these deserves a mighty high five in the corridors, the hallowed halls of Games Workshop headquarters. The other thing is, yes, they would be awesome for Crusaders, Inquisition Warbands, to go alongside your Rogue Trader. They would look pretty dope in Necromunda if you convert them to be Venators or goodness knows what else. These are exciting. Whew.
But potentially more exciting is the Farstalker Kinband.
Unmitigated joy at the arrival of my favourite aliens in all of Warhammer 40,000. More Kroot, more often. The Kroot Farstalker Kinband. Oh, Wade, tell us something about
I get 2
so we saw the
Tau opponents I like to play
released
against.
alongside the first plastic Tau, and I think some of the design.
If they don't buy this, I'll
of
be
the Tau and
disappointed.
the Kroot suggested that they were first
They don't
worked
split
up,
this with me, I'll be
in
disappointed.
concert with each other, and the decision was yet to be taken as to which of those races would be like the dominant one. And the Tau kind of came ahead, and we've seen more Tau kits revealed, and the Kroot haven't really had a major release ever since the first Kroot Carnivore squad of the first Tau Codex back in 2001, and then we saw Dayak Grek coming along as an adventurer in Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress.
Who was, until today, the best Kroot I'd ever seen.
Fan favourite. So here we see the Farstalker Kinband. We know that the Kroot are mercenaries, they're spacefaring critters. You can see that shape a character in the middle with a Tau pulse rifle that does not look like he's necessarily been looking after it particularly well. It's a bit scratched up.
He's
and
got
dinged.
it's mine and you can't have it, but like he's holding it above the tower.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, come up and reach it. I've got long arms. I love his pestle, like mortar and pestle combination, like the skull and little bone that he's got tucked into
I
his
also
belt.
want to know who he gets to push the rock round for him inside the confines of the Space Hulk. The Space Hulk that they're fighting in, by the way, has a name. It's called the Gallowdar.
The Gallowdar.
Which is a neat name for a Space Hulk.
Oh,
Space
very
Hulks never
cool.
have like Sunshine 2000 or
No,
anything.
well, like the Sin of Damnation, I
Exactly.
think was the one from the Space Hulk games. So Space Hulks are. It's a great opportunity for us to take a look inside Space
Oh,
Hulks. 'Cause this is going to be
yes.
a bit like Warcry is going to be looking.
Sorry,
at,
I get excited
the
about terrain,
Gnarlwood,
y'all.
and releases for Warcry to follow will also be set in the Gnarlwood to build up a bit of a sense of what's going on in there. Subsequent releases for the upcoming season of Kill Team will be taking place in and around more of the Gallowdar because people try to explore what's going on. So they tend to
Okay.
be vomited out of warp storms or trapped in the warp, and the culmination or combination of lots of different bits of essentially space flotsam and jetsam. Imagine a shipwreck, but made up of tens of thousands of years worth of human and alien ships
and rocks
mashed
from all
together
around
in the
them,
warp,
yep.
and
I'm
asteroids and all sorts of
going
things.
to put a hold on
This-
one of the things. Somebody's saying, "Oh, but only 7 models." Obviously, not only 7 models. We're, like Kill Team typically has 2 full-size warbands.
Then show us the
Kill
full-
Teams is probably
show us the
correct
box.
word. There will be 2 full-size Kill Teams, and I'm sure you might get a glimpse of a little bit more of some of the setting and surroundings and things in the future. So do not panic. There is a lot more
Oh,
Kroot.
we're not even going to see the
Don't
full
you
box
worry.
today.
And you saw Kroot hounds as well. That
I
was
know,
exciting.
and we have a genuine best dog of the day competition,
Yeah.
which I'd be interested in chat if you have firm opinions on whether it is the dogs that belong to Hexbane's Hunters or the dogs that belong to the Farstalkers. I would like to know.
Grotbiter or Ratspike or Kroot hounds. And we also saw, as part of the reveal in the build-up to the setting the expectation, the bait and switch.
I know,
of the,
I know.
Space
It-
Hulk reveals. We
it's-
saw the cat.
Oh,
unit.
we are at the end of an
Sonic
hour here.
assisted-
This is
so-
probably
so you could compare cat
the
to
last
hound.
thing
Oh,
that
cat
they're
and dog,
showing.
cat and dog. But yeah, I think and just seeing that variety, the different skin tones. that you
I
see,
am
the different
shocked we
green
didn't get
skin
Kasrkins
tones, the
today.
different
I
bionic
really
bits
am.
That these Kroot,
But
they look like
Imperial
hard-bitten-
Navy,
They look like a hard.
you all know me, I'm a
They don't
narrative
necessarily
player.
look like a unit that's been
I'm
co-opted
very
by the
excited for
Tau
that.
Empire, which is what the Kroot Carnivore squad that we're familiar with in Warhammer 40,000.
Yep, I'm very excited for the Imperial Navy models. Not gonna lie, I got all the Rogue Trader models. I got the Voidsmen at Arms fully painted up. I don't use them enough, and this will be fantastic. And it looks like we could definitely proxy these or kit match them into Astra Militarum stuff as well. So very excited about that. Hey,
There's specialist
Luno, you were speaking about
team,
Elysians earlier. Maybe this is
coincide with those in-
Command Squad variant or something. I don't know. Right? These are things that we could definitely make good use out of. So that's cool. I wish we could see the full kit. So a little bummed out we're not seeing the full kit right now in this preview. But
So, Raph, hit the next slide before I reveal more things. Oh, so can I possibly use my kill team in space? If I've already got a kill team and it's not one of the kill teams. The answer is yes. Not only do we expect you to, we encourage it. Imagine if you could, how cool it would be to have Deathcore Krieg fighting Tau 5.
that is definitely a new terrain
in a
set.
Space Hulk. That would be fantastic. So this is not a new rules set. This is a great opportunity for anyone who's not yet started playing Kill Team to get on board. There's going to be complete rules, the complete rule set for playing Kill Team, as well as rules for fighting in
Yeah,
close
Officer of the
confines,
Fleet's
such
good
as you would
option for
find
these.
inside a Space Hulk, as well as the Kill Team rules for the Naval.
This
Grouping
is
team
pretty
and
cool.
The Farstalker Kinband, but it's not just an expansion for the existing game. So it's a great way to get on board and have everything that you need to start playing Kill Team in one set. But it does not invalidate any of the existing kill teams. It's not a new edition of the rules. It's just an update, taking it into a new environment.
Very particular
Okay,
setting.
so not Kill Team 2.0.
Somebody in the chat is going,
3.0.
wait, is that a plastic floor? Well, I'm sure there will be more to talk about with regards to exactly where they are fighting. There is... How exciting.
How do the Krieg
I feel like
Come
in
on, I
many
want the
ways,
full box
the
preview.
Kroot and the
I want the
Naval
full
Woodsman,
box.
tremendously exciting reveal in its own right, and the concept of this new setting inside Gallowdark and all these different factions from around the Warhammer 40,000 universe converging to fight battles in space. It's also a massive tease, right? And I'm not even that sorry for it. Andrelli says, I want plastic floor, and don't we all? So let's see what comes in good time. And if you've said, oh, but I really want to kill Team Witches, and then you've shouted the name of the thing you like, maybe you'll get it. I don't know, especially if they're like in space a bit. That'd be cool. Right. Whew. I'm observing the time, and I wish to do a brief recap of the awesome things we have seen. So, today, Wade...
Let's see if we get a teaser at the end.
...of seeing the new Warcry reveal with Heart of Gur. Wade has been carefully holding the books under his desk. Here is the picture of the box. Heart of Gur, Skirmish combat in the Realm of Beasts. An amazing new setting.
Really cool.
Warcry.
Yep.
Same game you love. Tweaked and invigorated and ready for fighting in an environment where everything is trying to kill everything else.
Yep.
Gotta love it. Obviously, we saw the Goliath Maulers.
Yes, my boys.
Basically, the best thing on wheels and or tracks, or whatever that spindly thing was that was just like a spiky appendage for driving on. Chains for hair.
They've reinvented the wheel because they've made it out of a buzzsaw. They're geniuses, the Goliaths. Look at them.
I think when these release, we basically all need to agree to just share the thing we've made that isn't actually a Goliath out of it, because I can't wait to see what everybody does. Fantastic. We next had Hexbane's Hunters. This warband looks sensational. It's a glorious nod to the world that was and that beloved Witch Hunter warband from Mordheim, but it's also a nod to the Order of Azir, Sigmar's own special hunter force for rooting out evil and banishing it with like guns and stakes and magic potions.
And dogs.
And dogs.
Yep.
First dogs of the day. Chat went mad. There's a guy in chat who's just determined to say Fimir. I
think GW should just sell like
today. Next,
like
we had the
animals
team,
and
Blood Bowl team,
monsters separately, like the dogs and the
sort of
monkeys
alternate
and
version of the world that was, as it were.
so forth. They should just sell those in their own
Illustrious,
blister
determined
packs.
to conquer all on the gridiron. Incredible models. 10 out of 10 for whoever did the faces in particular. Absolutely stellar work.
Love 'em.
And then we rounded it all off with just about the most exciting thing you could possibly hope to see, which is Kill Team coming to space, new Kroot warband, also some other things in the set, like the Imperial Navy breachers, but
Massive
mostly
shotguns.
all the Kroot, all the time. I am just made up. Whew.
I think it's a great expression of one of the best things about these sorts of skirmish games is it gives the miniatures designers and the studios a great opportunity to show off the sorts of things that we definitely know exist in the mortal realms, the grim darks of the far future, but we don't necessarily fit into the convention of armies. So naval breaching teams, you don't send a naval breaching team into Warhammer 40,000 because you've got the Astra Militarum to do that. You've got the army. That's what the army is. But sometimes
I like the Imperial
you get
Navy
the
guys
army
too.
to go and do boarding actions on a spaceship because you've only got the Navy to do that sort of thing. You don't necessarily have mercenary squads of Kroot because they'd get stepped on by a Titan if they're on a Warhammer 40,000 battlefield. But you can't fit a Titan and a Space Hulk very easily. Never say never, of course, but we'll wait and see. Likewise, Hexbane's Hunters, the Army of Azir, the Order of Azir, represented in the mortal realms, definitely in Black Library fiction, definitely creeping around doing all sorts
Good
of
thing
good
for
stuff.
Soul Man role-playing game.
Absolutely, superb. And Callus and Toll, we've seen them doing some investigative work before in Black Library books. They're definitely there, but again, they might get stepped on by a Mega Gargant very easily if they're on a battlefield. But again, difficult to fit a Mega Gargant into the Warhammer Underworlds environment. So a great way to see more of what we know exists and let the miniatures designers flex their muscles and show us what that looks like in glorious plastic.
Okay, well, show us the whole box.
I agree. First of all, I think
whole
you
Kill
found
Team
something very
box.
interesting. I could wax lyrical about it. If we had another hour, I would start pontificating on all the cool things that are like tiny little dark corners of the worlds of Warhammer. I would like to see
another
brought
preview.
out.
Maybe another preview.
One day, maybe. Or Adam and Wade just allowed to chatter about nonsense for an hour. I would like to know, chat, you've been with us for the last 60 minutes. What is your favourite thing you've seen today? Let us know in the chat. I, for one, am excited. Hit us.
Wow. Dogs and Kroot.
Dogs might feature.
I mean,
Kroot.
okay,
Lots
so
of
maybe
Kroot
I'm in the
dogs
minority
as well.
here
I
on the
think
Imperial
you
Navy,
have,
but
come with the wrong attitude, sir.
I'm excited about that.
A lot of Kroot. Plastic floor, Void team, Goliath bike, a lot of Warcry. Somebody desperate for Famir, bless them. Witch Hunters. I think it's fair to say that we've had a nice sort of blend of things from all the floor. A blend of things. We're all innocent men. I guess this is the bit where I round up. First of all, I would like to thank all of you, just marvellous people who've joined us in the chat. More than 18,000 of you right now who spend a bit of your Sunday with us.
I feel you far beyond the stars.
About Warhammer.
I was expecting a Kasrkin
to Raph.
preview today, and it wasn't
tech priest
here.
with the mostest. Also, fix the sound issues when they read the head. There were no sound issues.
So-
in practice, we promise. Thank you to Notley.
Yeah,
Mother
no
RTC
problem.
Green,
Glad I could
just
stream.
making
Glad
the
you all
chat
hung out
behaved.
with me
And
for
you
this
are the
hour.
chat and you did behave.
But,
so thank you for making his life easy.
Hopefully, maybe we'll see
Lastly,
something in
Wade,
September.
Thank you to you for being a person
Right?
who knew
Maybe
all the
we'll
answers to
see
things that
something
I
at
didn't.
Nova
And to
during
all
that
the
big
people in the
release
Warhammer studios who
announcement.
made these super dope models.
So-
to
oh,
keep
and
them,
thanks.
like,
Thanks. Yeah,
beyond
just at
hype.
11,000
So basically, if you
followers
made,
on
painted, wrote, edited,
Instagram,
did a box or whatever.
which is huge.
Awesome work.
I mean, that
I
it took
am
me a long
hyped.
time to actually get to
This is it from
11,000.
me. See you
So,
again very soon. Bye.
all right, they're signing out. Yep. All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm going to change the title of the video because we didn't get Kasrkins today. But we did get Imperial Navy. That's pretty cool. I'm excited about it narratively, and I will get that. Definitely paint that up. Go right along all my other cool models that I don't use all that often, but are really great, and I love that part about Warhammer 40,000. So, all right, y'all. You have a great rest of your day, or if you're watching this later, great rest of your year. Right? All right. I'll catch you all next